Oh, there you are. You know, Elliot's going to be here soon.
Oh? You know, you've been spending so much time with the Reverend and his good works. I just wondered if you had an ulterior motive.
Isn't Juanita coming for you soon? Maybe you'd like to wait out in the driveway.
Don't be snarky, my dear. By the way, whatever happened to that feisty niece I used to have? Always going for the gusto, hanging out with all the bad boys of the world?
Oh, believe me, Elliot has been bad enough.
Beg your pardon? Oh, Brooke, you two haven't...
Oh, no, of course not.
Well, then, what else is so bad that a reverend could do?
I don't know.
Don't be coy with me, dear.
I'm being truthful with you. And you can't say a word of this to anybody. Elliot has a prison record.
What?
Is that racy enough for you?
Dear God in heaven, I must call Juanita immediately and cancel.
Oh, no, don't you dare.
Well, if you think I'm going to leave you alone with a convicted felon...
Listen to me. He's a sweet man. I'm sure it was nothing, and it's in the past, and he's moved on.
I'll make a note of it. But may I suggest, my dear, that you find out as much as you possibly can about this reverend of yours?
Yes, I will ask.
What if he doesn't tell you?
He pulled me from the path of a moving truck yesterday. I think I can cut him some slack. Saved by Juanita. Elliot, you remember my aunt, Phoebe?
Yes. It's a pleasure seeing you again. Especially looking so radiant.
Oh, thank you, Reverend. You know, I hardly recognized you without your collar.
I get that a lot.
Oh, I'm sure women are swooning all over the streets.
Maybe I should leave the two of you alone for a while.
Oh, that would be my ride. I hope I see you again soon.
I'd like that.
Good. Brooke, dear, would you see me out?
You bet.
Juanita will be waiting for me in the driveway.
I'll be right back.
Take your time.
Don't forget to find out why they set him up the river.
I apologize for my aunt. She just doesn't feel like being subtle anymore.
Hey, why should she? I like her style.
Yeah, she's always had plenty of that.
It runs in the family.
Thank you.
Speaking of which, have you heard from Jamie?
Oh, yes, he's just great. He loves that camp so much, I'm going to have to pry him out of there with a crowbar.
You know, kids always seem to have a way of bouncing back.
Yeah.
Listen, Tempo's donation in the community center, I brought the papers, so I just wanted to go over these with you.
Put that away. I didn't invite you over here to discuss business.
You didn't?
No. I wanted to thank you for helping me yesterday with Jamie and for pulling me from the path of that truck.
Brooke.
Just say you're welcome.
Okay.
I was actually planning a picnic. I got a little bit behind in my preparations, so I thought we could have it here.
Here?
Is that all right?
We don't have to worry about ants.
I could bring some in. Be more authentic. Here, you take that in. To the man who saved my hide from that dreaded 18-wheeler.
Glad to be of service.
Listen, I don't want to hear you be humble about the fact that you pulled me away from that truck last night or that you drove me to the hospital, because I wouldn't have been able to see Jamie or get to him without you.
Okay, I admit it. Underneath my clerical shirt and collar, I wear spandex tights, a cape, and a muscle T-shirt with a big S on the chest.
Super preacher?
Only you and God know my true identity.
Actually, only God knows that, right?
I suppose. You really have quite a library here.
Yes.
You like poetry?
When I have the time. I used to be able to name that poet in one line or less.
Really? That sounds like a challenge.
Try me.
Okay. Well, you know, actually, I only know a few verses that my mother taught me. Okay. You have ravished my heart with a glance of your eyes, with one jewel of your necklace. How sweet is your love, my sister, my bride. How much better is your love than wine.
Shelley.
Nope.
Browning.
Earlier.
I give up.
Solomon, Song of, chapter 4, verse 10.
That's cheating.
Hey, what can I say? I mean, all we had around the house were Bibles with poetry in them. My mother read the Bible like every day. She saw no sense in even bringing any other books in the house. You know, she said she wasn't going to read them anyway.
Were you from a religious family?
Well, just my mom.
Any brothers or sisters?
There goes that reporter in you again.
Okay, so I'll just stick to what I know, and we'll go from there. All right. You like to work out at the gym. You motivated a young man to turn his life around. You make incredible fried chicken. And you can handle yourself in a fight. What am I missing?
Sounds like you pretty much got everything.
Except a glaring chunk of your life before we met. But I'm not picky.
You know, there's really not that much to tell you.
Well, what about your family? I mean, you haven't told me anything about them.
We just didn't get along. I mean, I used to be the kind of man you wouldn't want to know.
I find that hard to believe. I do. So what changed you?
I found God.
Well, I should have seen that coming, right?
We don't wear these collars for show, you know? Name that poet. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. What through the radiance that was once so bright
Be now taken forever from our sight, though nothing can bring back the hour of splendor in the grass.
Do you want to know about my life, Brooke? I would like to give just 1 hour of splendor to the people in my life. That's why I'm so glad. We shall grieve not, but rather find peace in what is left behind. Well, it's not easy to find peace.
Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, I think so. Aren't you?
You know that I am.
So we're not so different.
Except you found God.
It's more like God found me.
In prison?
Mm-hmm.
Eliot, what did you do? Why were you in prison?
You know, if I had to describe my idea of a perfect setting, today would pretty much fit the bill. Picnic in a beautiful setting, good food, good company, poetry. The only thing that's missing is a waterfall with a rainbow overhead. No. There's something else missing. You asked me a question and I've been putting you off because I know once I answer, nothing will ever be the same again.
This is hard for you, I can see that.
Don't worry about me.
I just want you to know I'm not going to stand in judgment. I couldn't do that. There are things about me, things that I have done.
Brooke, you don't have to tell me this.
But it might help you.
I'm not asking you to say anything further.
But it's not fair.
No, please, please.
Ask you to bare your soul to me when I'm keeping things back from you, from my past.
Brooke, I don't need you to say anything else.
It's public record. I killed a man a few years ago. A man who came into my life and almost destroyed it. Jim Thomasen. He preyed on me, on my family. He tried to kill 2 of my friends. And I killed him instead. And I was arrested. And I was tried for murder. And I was found innocent because they called it justifiable homicide. And even though I was doing it to protect my family, and maybe even potentially other children from him, I still shudder when I think that I was the one who pulled the trigger, that I was capable of that. So you don't have to feel ashamed. Not with me. I mean, I live with the guilt that I took a life. Unless you've done that, you can't understand how that changes someone inside. I mean, even if they find you innocent, and even if you believe that God is forgiving, you're always different. You've been altered.
I do believe in a forgiving God. And I believe that a person can be redeemed for his or her sins.
But
they don't go away. The sins, the damage is done. What's lost is lost, and you go on from there. That's all we can do.
you can try to ask for forgiveness.
We may be able to forgive, but it's almost impossible to forget. It would be so much easier if we could.
I understand that. That's why I want you to know I'm not going to judge you. I just have to know who I'm letting into my life. And in my home, my family, my friends. I didn't ask those questions of Jim. And I've learned.
I think that you have a right to know whether I'm in your life or not.
You already are in my life.
Then I think I better tell you why I went to prison. Brooke, I'm a completely different person now than before I went to prison.
I already know that.
I deserved to go. I mean, the life that I was living was wrong. I was doing destructive things, I mean, to myself and others, all the while thinking that I was in control. You know, even above the law. I quickly found out that I was accountable. It's true what they say about sometimes having to lose it all to be able to begin again. I mean, whatever God had in mind for me, I had to hit rock bottom first. And the only tragedy of it was that I had to do it alone. I robbed an innocent family of their most precious gift. I betrayed a community.
You made a mistake. You stole, you got caught, you paid the price. But you found your true self. And more than that, you found God. Elliot, you found a calling. There is nothing for you to be ashamed of.
Brooke, you don't understand.
I know this is hard for you. I know it's something that you are still wrestling with, but God forgives us. You just have to forgive yourself.
You're telling me this?
Some nerve, huh?
I'm sorry. I have to go. I have an appointment, I just remembered.
You have an appointment?
Yes. It slipped my mind.
Elliot,
Thank you.
Is it something that I said?
Ruth,
What did I say?
Thank you. Thank you for the perfect day. Okay?
Elliot. What did I do? Oh, hi. You're back early. Did you cut things short to check on me?
No, dear. I'd had enough of the botanical garden. Besides, there was something flowering that was making me sneeze. I saw your Reverend take off on his bicycle. How did your brunch go?
Oh, fine.
Did something happen? You look upset. Did you find out something disturbing about Elliot?
No.
Well, did he tell you why he was sent to prison?
Yes, he told me. It was for robbery. We didn't get into the specifics.
But that was the point, wasn't it? To get specific?
Aunt Phoebe, you should have seen him. I mean, it's been years since this happened, and he's still so torn up about it. I mean, I tried to reassure him, but I must have crossed over the line because all of a sudden he bolted out of here with some, appointment that he suddenly remembered.
Well, he must have been terribly embarrassed.
That's what I was trying to avoid. I told him that he didn't have to be ashamed around me. I even tried to tell him, how I felt after killing Jim. I don't know, maybe I insulted him. Maybe he thought that I was making this all about me. I mean, was I?
No, dear, of course you weren't. You were just trying to reach out to him.
Well, I ended up chasing him away. I seem to have a knack for that.
Dear, I'm sorry it didn't go well, darling.
Elliot?
Reverend Taylor, thank you for meeting with me.
Sounded urgent. Why didn't you want to meet at the church?
I couldn't go there. I'm not fit to go there. Not now.
Elliot, what's happened?
Remember how I was waiting for the right time to tell Brooke why I went to prison?
Yes, and you said you felt ready.
I thought I was, but I went to her home this afternoon. We had brunch. She asked me a question about it, and...
No wonder you're upset. Elliot, what you did required a great deal of courage. You stepped out on faith. And it was the right thing to do. I'm proud of you.
Don't be. I couldn't tell her.
What did you tell Elliot about Jim?
Not everything. That I had killed him. That that I stood trial. How long it took for me to recover. That.
Well, why did you want to go into all of that?
Because I just didn't want him to feel ashamed around me.
Darling, sometimes you get so emotional. Maybe you just scared him away.
You continually harp on me about how I work all the time and I don't make myself available for a man to come into my life. And then when I at least try, you get on me because I don't know enough about Elliot's past. And then you accuse me of being too spontaneous emotionally and chasing him away. I don't know what you want from me, I'm just doing the best that I can.
Oh, dear. It seems that you care more about this man than I realized.
You're disappointed in me.
What does it matter if I am?
You're the senior pastor, my spiritual advisor. It matters.
What matters is if you're disappointed in yourself. Remember your interview for assistant pastor? I asked you why you wanted to come back to Pine Valley, to this church in particular. Think about what you said.
I said that I wanted to face the sins of my past.
Specifically, you wanted to tell Brooke English everything.
But I never thought that it was going to be this difficult. This is the most difficult thing that I've ever done in my life.
Where have I heard that before? Let this cup pass from my lips.
Tell me about it. So where do I go from here?
I can't answer that for you.
I don't know what to do. The longer I hold back, the harder it is to tell her. I never meant to be dishonest with Brooke, but it seems like that's exactly what's beginning to happen.
What is it you want from this woman?
I don't know. I thought it was one thing. Now...
Elliot, are you having feelings for Brooke?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to snap at you.
And I didn't mean to pick at you, darling. It's perfectly true. I did want to find a nice man for you to share your life with. Because I really believe your life could be fuller.
I know. We've had philosophical discussions numerous times on this subject.
A nice way of saying I've stuck in my 2 cents worth more than you'd like.
You're still my best friend. And I know I can always count on you to tell me the truth.
Then tell the truth. Do you really care about this man?
I think I do. You know, but I don't know that it's going to matter. I think I may have blown it.
Oh, I wouldn't say that, darling, but it would appear you do have a problem.
I do have feelings for Brooke, Reverend. Very deep feelings.
I see.
I don't know how it happened. I didn't mean for it to happen.
Brooke English is a lovely woman. I've known her for many years.
But how am I supposed to tell her now? I mean, if that makes me a coward, God help me.
Oh, God will help you, but you have to help yourself, too. Because if you really care for Brooke, you have to tell her. The truth will come out. It always does.
Brooke cannot find out before I tell her.
Then you have to do what you came here to do. Tell her. Until you do, you're living on borrowed time.